Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do part 6 of What If Deku Had a Quirk called Absorption Evolution. In the last part I ended it with Deku transforming into his new form, which I am going to call Kaiju, literally meaning big monster. Um, I ended it with him basically being passed out and All Might saying that he is going to be the next symbol of peace because literally just in his second form he was already stronger than All Might while fighting All for One. And that now basically he's kind of already way too strong for anyone else. Literally way too strong. That's why I'm going to change some things in the series to make people stronger. Okay, so basically Izuku, after being exhausted, since it was the first time transforming into that and he was already like barely even alive anymore before transforming, thanks to his regeneration he was able to survive and do a full recovery, but he was still in a coma for like about a week and a half since way too much power. So when he woke up, the only two persons close to him were his mother and All Might in his not transformed state. Well, skinny form. When he woke up and asked what was happening, he, he woke up All Might and Inko, and both of them started, well, Inko started crying, while All Might was just really happy because, well, the doctors did tell them that Izuku was going to be fine because of his quirk, and that practically anything that happens to him will heal. Like, as long as his brain is alive, his entire lower body could be disintegrated and he would still do a full recovery as if nothing happened after a while. After defeating All for One, and knocking him out, as well as killing 5 Nomus, he got small part of all of those quirks. He didn't get a part of All for One's quirk, simply because, well, it's you have it or you don't, and I won't give it to him. So, well, when everything was kind of over, they basically told him about the dorms that they're putting in place and that Inko accepted. So he's going to go live there. Mm, a doctor entered the room, saw that he was awake, and said that they want to keep him there for a bit and do tests because his anatomy is literally unique. And it for the entire time he was in a coma, it was basically changing. His body was changing, transforming. Um, Literally, he had new organs that formed in his body. Other organs shrinking, even though they have but for a weird reason, having the exact same capacity as they had previously, actually, even a bit better. And so they want to do tests about it because they never seen someone with a quirk like his. They did see copy quirks and stuff like that, but never the type of quirk that he has. Mostly for the transformation aspect. So he decided to accept because they weren't forcing it. They just asked him if they could. Um, so first thing they ask is, what do you know about your forms? Which basically they show him a picture of what he looked like. Then they asked him if he remember about what he did, which he says that he does remember, which they say, oh, so it was probably just the first one that made you forget for some reason. Well, at least now we don't have to explain what you did, which says, yeah. So after a bit, they started doing tests on his body to look exactly how strong his regeneration is. They looked at, well, basically, they asked if they could dissect him, since he is going to regenerate anyway, just to see basically what kind of organs he has now, since they know he got more, but they don't know what they do. Because, like I said, he didn't get the quirk all for one. What he did get is a small piece of every quirk that All for One had in his body except that one, which he had a lot. He basically went around looking for any quirk that were, like, not even powerful, just useful in a fight. So he had over, like, 400 quirks in his body, a lot of them being uh, practically identical or just ex- extremely close to each other, just to try and beat him, as well as the quirks of the Nomus. And so Izuku's body was literally trying to just adapt to all of that at once, as well as all of the power that was given to him at that time, which was huge. At this point, I would say that the strength he has in his normal form is just about All Might level. Basically, at this point, he has the strength of All Might in the anime, at the strongest that we saw him. So he is strong, like really strong, and that's if he's not trying, because 5 no moves that were a lot stronger than All Might, All for One, which with all the quirk he decided to grab, made him at least, like, I don't remember what I said, but he was easily capable of playing with Izuku in his Ryu form, which I think I said was a lot stronger than All Might. Well, not a lot stronger, but was stronger. So he's strong now. So yeah, well, he accepted because he just thought, yeah, I won't die from it, so at least they can find out what I got, since All Might himself said that the guy took many, many, many quirks, and that if Izuku copied absorbed all of those, they won't know how many quirks he has, or even what he has. Sorry about that. Basically just saying that Izuku, if he did absorb every quirk that he got, well, that's All for One had, his body might keep changing to try and put all of those in him, since it doesn't change in appearance a lot anymore, but it still does change. But this time, his body was in a critical condition and just tried to kind of grow to make sure that he would survive all of those quirks, as well as the power. So his body changed kind of a bit from the exterior. Actually, he grew in size mostly for the exterior, as well as having a bit of a color change. Basically, everything just got a bit darker. And I will not do a list of quirks that he had. All I'm going to say is that there were at least 20 strengthening quirk. Well, he had all the quirk that he had in the anime, plus a massive amount of other quirks, plus the Nomus that I'm going to say had at least 20 quirk each, just to be able to fight against Izuku, since All for One didn't want to fight All Might anymore. He wanted to kill that kid or get his quirk. So they did the dissection to try and find out all that he would have, and they found out that his skin, well, before they even started the autopsy, well, surgery, but they say autopsy because normally when they do it like they are doing right now, it's because they're basically looking at a dead body. So first thing they found is that his skin is a lot tougher than what it was before. They found out that all of the muscle he has on his body are compressed and could actually grow a lot bigger and augment his strength by a lot if he does that. Muscular quirk, basically, but that would all stay in his skin instead of coming out. So he can multiply his muscle. They found out that he has a special gland now. Well, in his throat that literally let him throw out massive balls of air. Like, he can breathe in, and that basically compressed the air all as much as needed, all the way up until Izuku decides that, okay, I need to release it, and he could basically scream like present Mike, but instead of saying yeah, it would just be a massive burst of air, or just a scream or something like that. Another organ they found is something that allows him to basically not eat for a while, like storing water and anything in that. And if he eats correctly normally, he could not eat or drink for an entire month without feeling any backlash from it. Since you can only live about 4 days without drinking, but over a month without eating, Izuku well, not would be able to not eat nor drink for an entire month and be perfectly fine, and only then starting to feel the effect. So, when everything's done, they basically explain to him all that they found. Then, once everything is healed, they tell him that he can leave. Then he goes to the dorm, seeing everyone again for the first time since he was knocked out, and he stayed for like 3 days in total in the hospital, because they did take out almost half his organs that were new. So like, let's say there were like 4 or 5 new organs. They took all of them out, and they just waited for him to regrow them, which did happen since his body regenerates anything that he had at some point. So that. And then before leaving, they told him what all of the organs were doing, basically what quirk it was, as well as saying that he might have a lot more quirk than that. So when he arrived in the dorm, everyone basically greeted him, and everyone just saw that he was bigger, had more muscle, and that his color changed. Asked if he was alright, if anything was weird, which he said that he felt a lot stronger, and that he could probably beat All Might when he was still with his quirk at this point. All Might asked Izuku to meet him after bringing his stuff to the dorm to meet with someone, because I don't remember if I made him meet Tanjiro, if that was his name. Sun Eater, basically. So, if they didn't, this is the moment they meet. Sun Eater basically is waiting with All Might for Deku to arrive. When he arrives, Um, he tells him, "Hey, Camera, how are you today? All Might told me a lot about you." Which Izuku basically tells him that calling him by his first name was okay, and that he didn't have to say the hero name. Uh, wait, that calling him by his civilian name is okay, not to call him by his hero name. Which Tanjiro said, "Well, I don't know your hero name. I only know your hero name." So they present each themselves. Then All Might explains to Deku why he wanted him to meet Tanjiro, while basically telling him that his quirk was called One for All and that he passed it to this kid. And if your quirk really allows you to do all that you do, if anything were to happen to him, we would like you to be the next user of One for All, which Izuku promptly declines unless it is absolutely necessary. Which All Might tells him, "I was sure you would say that, and that's why I'm saying it right now. Unless it is an urgency, or that he is about to die. If we find someone else to give the quirk, this is where it is going." So Izuku accepts that. Then he asks, "So what was the other reasons that you wanted me to come?" With All Might saying that, well, after what he did to All for One, he's not even able to talk anymore. He is traumatized. It's like his mind was broken by what he did, or by something he did before Izuku did something, which actually is a combination of both. What is happening is that the Nomu's broken minds, as well as him trying to fuse with buildings, got a toll on All for One's body, um, partially um, reducing the strength of his mind. And when Izuku attacked him, All for One basically almost shit his pants the moment Izuku transformed the second time. And when Izuku started destroying him, the cracks that were in his mind basically became, well, basically shattered his mind, so he's not even able to think anymore. They did say that for some reason, if you bring someone that has a good quirk and that it is shown to him, his body will still respond to try and take it as if it was instinct, and it is weird. And so he asked Deku that the next time he transforms into that, which Izuku says, no, which Sun Eater says, "Yeah, about that. Do you name your forms? Because that thing was huge." Which Izuku said, "Well, from the picture I was shown, I think I'm going to call it Kaiju." Which Tanjiro says, "Big monster." With Izuku saying, "Yeah, well, it fits. The other one is dragon, but this one is different." So both All Might and Tanjiro says, "Yeah, true." well, Sun Eater, because I'm really not sure if it's really that. Um, in the end, when they finished talking, it was basically just to say all of that. Izuku goes back to the dorms where everyone finally asks him how he felt in that form. After he told them thank you for basically encouraging me. After a while, Izuku goes to his room and everyone asks him if he wants help decorating since he just came back from the hospital. And he just says that. Sorry about that. He just said that if they want to help, they could actually um, just help him. What was it? Oh, here it is. That if they want to help, they can help him bring some boxes. Since he's strong enough to bring them, but one by one, or one or two at a time, would be pretty long. So everyone kind of helped. And so when Izuku finished doing it, the rest of the class had already did the game, but someone asked if they could see his room and then explain what they did, which he says, sure, yeah, you can come. Which, when they enter, basically, in the original, it's a lot of All Might stuff. In this one, it's a lot of animals. A lot of things he hunted and stuff like that. So, a well, some um, some animal that has been, how do you say this again? Well, when you kill an animal and that you bring its corpse to a certain place that basically makes it, well, fills it up with with, I don't remember what it's called, put it in a certain position, and then make it, and then you can take it back. I don't remember the name of that thing, and I didn't even write it down. Um, Basically, there's a lot of animals that are like that. Small animals, as well as fish and insects. But it's not covering the same amount of room as his All Might merch. It's like only a bit under half of what he had. It's basically the animals that or he took the longest to be able to hunt, or the ones that gave him the most trouble. So basically, it's just all of the things that it took him time to finally be able to hunt. They basically, Froppy basically says that it feels a bit weird being in a room like this. Mostly when they look at Izuku, that seems to be such a nice person. So Izuku basically tells them that if they want anything like training and stuff like that, to just ask him, which everyone responds by saying that he just came back from the hospital, he shouldn't do that. With Izuku just saying, well, I don't really need to relax for now, I'm perfectly fine. So the next day of school, um, well, for a while, everyone basically just went back to their normal life, except in the dorms, all the way up until the big three meet them. Um, the same thing happens with Nejire, um, starting to look at everyone and talking about their quirks and what she wants to know about them. When she arrives to Deku, she basically says that his quirk is so different from anything, it's awesome, and that his forms look beautiful, blah blah blah. Then Sun Eater basically just says hi to Izuku, which Izuku responds, with both Nejiro and Mirio looking at him and saying, "Oh, so you know each other?" With Sun Eater saying, "Well, All Might took both of us to talk about something since our quirk are a bit similar a while ago." And so we knew from there. We haven't talked since, even though it's not been really that long. Which Mirio basically just says outright, but hasn't it been only some days or something like that? Anyway, and then he has the same question as in the original, but Tanjiro or Sun Eater tells him, "Leave Deku out of it. I'm pretty sure if he beats you, he would become even strong." No, he just says, "If you fight against Deku, I'm pretty sure he's going to beat you without anyone else basically having a turn." And so Mirio decides to do everyone against him except Izuku, and then Izuku versus Mirio only. The fight against the entire class basically happens as you would think. Mirio just a boss. But against Izuku, there was a small difference. When Mirio wanted to try and pass through him, for some reason it wasn't working and it was as if he was hitting a wall. Mirio was asking himself how he did that and basically asked Deku and said that when he fought against the villain that took down All Might, All Might told me that the guy had a lot of quirks and that I might have part of all of them, and that might be one of them. So they stopped the fight because, well, they just said, "Yeah, you won." Since he did punch him 2 or 3 times, and Izuku did budge, but uh, yeah, it's not going to work out for Mario if they continue. The quirk that he just used is actually a quirk that All for One found, and it was unique. He had it before Midoriya was in the picture. Well, let's say this what if it has been like that. And it is a special spell. What the hell am I talking about? Wait, what? Um, Two of my what ifs are basically on the same page right now. What the hell? Okay, so like I was saying, I don't know why the what ifs are on the same page, but It is a quirk that I'm giving all for one, before deku entered the picture, and what it does is just um, places a barrier around, well, about a centimeter of the user's body that nullifies any types of quirk that are emitter type. So Todoroki sending fire, the fire would be nullified. His ice would be nullified as well, but in that it's more of a anything that is from emitter type will kind of be pushed as if there was a literal wall around Izuku, so Mirio cannot pass through him, since his quirk is basically stopped about a centimeter away from Izuku's body. So even if he wants to punch, well, as long as his fist touches Mirio, it does land a clean hit, so he gets put down. Then, well, yeah, after that, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to check my notebook correctly because I don't know why, but I switched page and I passed from this to my leveling deku, talking about levels and magic, so it's a bit weird. I'm going to check this out completely and hopefully arrange everything. So yeah, hope you like this one. If you like my what ifs, just leave a like and tell me. If you have any idea for other what ifs, tell me as well. I'm always here to listen. There are some shows or anime or cartoon that I didn't watch and will never watch. Like, let's say Cowboy Bebop. Someone asked me to do a what if on that, and I don't even know what. I already know what it is, but I don't really want to watch the series. Since, well, I just really don't. So yeah, hope you liked it. Not to out. If it will let me. Okay, so it doesn't seem to want. Okay, Natsu out.